What it is, y'all, it's your old boy Pill, and I'm coming back today with more Danmachi, and today we're going to be talking about Boss 1-7. Now, I've got a funny build here, and I'm going to explain to you guys why I built this way when we get to the essay section. The one thing I will tell you is, if I was an intelligent soul, I would be using Elfie on my team. Because Elfie's essay it's a single target, dark magic attack. You do want dark, and you do want magic on this. Now, you could do it with Thunder in theory, but I don't think the Thunder team is really, like, the level of strength it should be. Now, here's the deal. If your dark magic team sucks, definitely go try Thunder or try Dark Physical or something like that. But if you have any measure of dark magic team whatsoever, this event is going to just absolutely fall before you and beg for mercy. So, her SA is a faux singular ultra dark magic attack with temporary great magic boost, ultra critical rate, and magic resist and dark resist down 60%. Now that is going to be huge. We're going to do magic dark down 40% for the fight, and the only reason I'm going to do this is just because I really enjoy running Filvis. I think she's super fun. She gets a big SA. Here's the thing though, you need spirit killers on your team, and she's a ghost killer, which you would think, I mean, like, you're splitting hairs at some point, but whatever. Origami, on the other hand, is a spirit killer. I don't know why there's a difference. There's a difference. We're gonna get a Raiju killer next, huh? Danmemo devs, are we gonna get a Revenant killer? Come on, those of you that don't play Phasma with us on Friday, it's inside jokes. Anyway, nevertheless, let's jump into the fight and kind of talk about this. Now, as I said, dark magic seems to be like really the best for the job. So if we go in here before we add anything, you'll notice that dark is down. Or dark isn't down at all, actually. Dark has to be debuffed. Thunder's down 10%, but because of how strong Dark is just as a team in general, I think they're just better built for the job. Also, Magic is already down 20%, and then we debuffed another 25% for a sum total of 45, but Magic is already down. Now, you could use a Thunder physical team if you really wanted, like, to go nuts, but just the Dark Magic team is so beefy and so insane, I just kind of feel like this is a no-brainer. Now, let's go ahead and come out of the gate with Spotlight with Line. There's a weird caveat to this, and I'll cover it here in just a moment. It's a very strange situation, but believe me, this is the one little thing we're going to have to do in turn 3 that's going to be a bit odd, but just follow me here, okay? So Spotlight, we're going to do skill 2 with Ryu, because remember, Ryu's skill 2 is her buff skill, and then skill 1 becomes her spammable. Everybody else is going to spam their skill 1s. And the nice part is Origami gets a 40% Thunder, a 40% Dark debuff on her skill 1. Now, we still need a magic debuff, so that's why I'm going to bring Elfie in. I'm going to bring Elfie in on turn 2 to do her second skill, which is a magic resistance debuff down 40%. Now, once again, she's a great single target unit. I would have a lot of success running her on this team. In fact, we can rerun this with her and just kind of go through the paces. But I really enjoy Filvis. I think Filvis is super fun to run. So I've included her on my team. It's literally just for me like an enjoyment factor. In fact, we probably would absolutely annihilate this with Elfie, and I might just rerun with Elfie to see what happens here. But I'm going to go ahead and move Ryu under her skill 1 and Filvis under her skill 3. Her skill 2 is a 25% single target damage buff, but Origami's going to do her skill 2, and already gets that along with a guard rate debuff. So there is something to be said for just doing that. Now, here's the deal. She gets 50% per each self magic buff skill. On her third skill, she gets 70% per each target self effect damage reduction skill. So actually, this would be a wiser course of action. This is going to get more damage. Now that does have a guard rate debuff. So actually we'll stick with that just to get the guard rate debuff. It really doesn't matter. You will get a slightly bigger hit with Origami over Filvis. But this Filvis is also like, what, 2-3 years old and just recently got October last year, got a big rebalance. So, don't expect her to beat Origami in damage. But I'm just going to do it this way just because. Doesn't really matter. Okay, so turn 2. Now, turn 3, we're going to do something a bit silly, a bit weird, but follow me before you lose your mind, because there's a function behind my complete lack of sanity. All right. So, really what we're doing is every couple of turns, we need to make sure we have a full complement of SAs farmed up. So, we should be good to go there. Now, normally we come out of the gate and do Dawn Wind. But I'm going to do Blowing Wind, because I need to make sure that all of our debuffs don't expire. And if I do it Dawn Wind this turn, then I've kind of got to do it on turn 4. You'll see why here in a moment. So I'm going to do Blowing Wind this turn, make sure everything stays in play. Okay? And then for everybody else, we're just going to do whatever their biggest skill is. For Origami, she's moving to skill 3. Both Ryu and Philvis are sticking with the skill they did on skill 2. Okay? And you'll see, we've already harmed our foe in a pretty substantial way. Like, our foe is not having a fun time with this. Now, the downside is Philvis took a little bit of extra damage. I'm hoping she survives the SA. There's a possibility she might not. That would mean we have to restart this. Oh, nope, she's good. So, now, so long as Haruhime gets a counter heal here, Philvis should be good. But you'll notice that all of our buffs are gone. Now, Haruhime never had any, but every other buff that we've already put in place is gone, so we're going to have to go re-implant buffs. But that works for us, because our 33% SA gauge charge would be gone anyway, and if I had done Dawn Wind 2 turns in a row, we would have lost those debuffs. So now the debuffs are restored. So we should be good to go, and we should have enough SA gauge charge at the end of turn 8 to still do a quad. So let's go ahead and do this. Dawn Wind. Everybody else is going to do their skill 1, aside from Ryu, who obviously skill 2 is her equivalent skill 1. And you'll notice that their skill 1s include extra actions. So, since their extra actions are basically being removed this turn anyway, it's a perfect situation. Now, if I was running Haruhime in slot 1, she'd be rebuffing Dawn Wind here anyway. Philvis just croaked. Philvis taking that extra damage really was not in the car. It was not in my game. This is the first time it's happened, and I've run this a few times. So let's just go back through this real fast and get back to that point. So Spotlight, skill 2, skill 1, skill 1. There we go. It won't take but a second to get back there. And the big thing to remember, though, is like that whole situation with Haruhime on turn 3 is kind of a weird situation, but it's what we have to do to, you know, make things work, so to speak. So, you know, it is what it is. And that's really what cost Philvis her life. So there is, like, for me, for the fun element of this, there is a certain amount of, like, okay, I've accepted the fact I'll probably have to restart this map. Dude, would you stop killing Philvis? As of this recording, this opponent hates her. Look at that. Look at that. Could you just not? I'm really hoping that Philvis gets a counter heal here. I don't know if she will, but I kind of feel like he's going to target her, like, solely. And the SA is going to, if he doesn't, yeah, SA is going to kill her. Dude, would you not be a jerk? You'll see this, right? Like, he is just, or she, technically, I guess, is just targeting Philvis. Like, don't be rude. Don't be rude! We're recording here, alright? You've not done this in any prior run, and I've done, admittedly, several runs. Sometimes I do 3 or 4 runs to make sure things like this don't happen. And now it's happening, but, you know, the first rule of content creation is as soon as you hit the record button, things are going to go sideways in a really horrible fashion. Alright, third time lucky. We got this. So, Spotlight, skill 2, skill 1, skill 1. Let's go. Bam. Now, honestly, if I was running Haruhime on the front line, we wouldn't have this problem. If I was running, you know, Elfie on the team, she's a little bit more robust, so we probably wouldn't be having this problem. And honestly, like I said, I've run this before, I've not had this problem. So this is literally just our opponent being rather rude. Rather ill-tempered and pretty rude. There we go. Girl, use that guard rate. There you go. There you go. She took a little bit extra damage that time, but I think we're golden. All right, so blowing wind, skill 1, skill 3, skill 3. Now we'll get to turn 4, and hopefully Phyllis will survive. Please. All right, Hime, we need your heals. There we go. Heal. Girl, counter heal! Thank you. If Origami dies, I'm going to be so mad. Okay. All right. So now we're about the state that I would expect to be at. Moving on. I'd edit that part out, but that's just a realistic part of running this sometimes. Is like, things do go wrong, and you just have to kind of work. All right. So let's get back to where we were before. Okay? So now in this turn, all our buffs are gone. Now, her debuffs are still in play. We're golden there. But I will have to rebuff. So skill 2, skill 1, skill 1. And since they do extra actions on that skill, it's a thing. Now, normally we'd have to rebuff those extra actions on turn 7. But I've kind of decided not to do that. I don't think there's enough benefit, especially when you have, big percentage-based single target attacks. I really just don't see the benefit in that. Now, we got turn 2 on those, so I'm going to go ahead and do Haruhime's skill 1. Give us a little bit more healing. For obvious reasons. And everybody else can go back to doing their big single target attacks. So we've got, all unit resistance. We got magic resistance. We got, everything pretty much here. We are golden at this point, okay? We're fine. Bam! Let's go. Now, the goal here, once again, is a quad on turn 9. So we're going to build our way up to that, and we should have enough SA gauge charge to make that happen. Now, I will say this. If you do blowing wind on turn 3, you will not have that. So that's why we wait. We, kind of eat that on turn 3, and then, go into this a little bit dangerously on turn 4. In fairness, this is the first time I've had a problem with any units dying on turn 3 and turn 4, but it is proof that it's a possibility. So, we'll go ahead and rebuff this turn. We'll have to do Dawnwind next turn. Debuffs are running out, but we'll be okay. And everybody just kind of continues doing their thing. Bam. 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 Let's go. In fact, if I'm truly honest, I really don't even need to do Dawnwind next turn. Because the goal anyway is to keep everything in play. And we shouldn't be running out of anything. Like, turn 8 is the only turn where we could potentially run out of things. And everything's 4 turns. Yeah, we'll just honestly stay the course. We'll be fine. Starting turn 8, we won't be, doing any, replication. We won't have HP regen. But it won't matter, because when we get into turn 9, we're just going to wreck this unit anyway. So, here we go into our final turn before our quad SA. And we're just spamming. Now, once again, I do want to say that the damage you're going to see out of Origami is going to be good. But it could be better. And that's honestly if I was running Elfie. So I think we'll run a third one and just see what Elfie will do. I'm not going to explain the buff stack, because the buff stack will kind of already make sense. You'll kind of should hopefully be able to understand why we're doing what we're doing. And if you don't, then you can kind of rerun that. But look at this. We have our opponent is down to 5 million health. Started with like 20 million, 23 million, I believe, is down to 5 million. There's a distinct possibility Origami may not even get her SA off. In fact, if Origami was in front of Phylvis, I can almost assure you Phylvis would not even bother getting hers off. Let's see here. So, not quite a mil. 3.2. Origami says, bada bing, bada boom, 5.9. And I want you to bear in mind, that's 5.9. Origami's only like CP level 20. I don't even know if her... I think I did ascend her weapon. Yeah, so I believe I did ascend her weapon. Let's just for the sake of silliness, though, let's do this one more time. Run this real fast. And I'm going to throw Elfie in the team where Filvis is. And I'm going to go ahead and do... Yeah, we'll do that. And I will give Elfie just any kind of armor. And the thing is, guys, I don't believe there's any ailments or anything like that here. I think you could just run any old type of armor. I'll run sleep armor just to, you know, say we did. Okay. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to use... there we go. We can do that. I'll use Filvis to debuff single target damage. So that way then we can use we can just throw Origami right into her turn 3. So let's see what happens here. Now once again, there's a possibility of Filvis being in slot 2 might be better than slot 3. I don't know. The thing is with Ryu and us not, since we're not debuffing physical resistance at all, Ryu might hit like 1.2 mil or something like that, but I think Elfie will actually still hit better in this situation. I could be wrong. Feel free to test it. But for me, I think this is going to be the right course of action. So let me just remember how she's built. Yeah, okay. So she's basically... Ooh, the big downside to her. The big downside to her. So... Yeah. She's not going to get her buff until turn 2, so it's going to change slightly how we do her turnage. I completely forgot about that, but I don't think it's going to be... I say it's a big downside. I don't think it's going to be that big of a downside. But let's just see what the damage difference is and see, you know, how much further down the old rabbit hole we go. So, we're doing the skill 1 there. She's going to have to do her skill 2. She can skip her skill 2 and move right onto her skill 3. Let's go. Okay. Bam. Bam. There we go. Unfortunately, it looks like Filvis did hers after Origami, so it's a moot point, but it is what it is. Or she's also an older unit. Origami's much, much, much newer. So, once again, we'll do Blowing Wind here. Keep all the debuffs in play. We will be good in that regard. And then, yeah. See how this transpires. And I'll run this. I'm not going to explain everything I'm doing here. Just the minor differences are really what we're going to go with. So, the honest answer will probably be Elfie is going to, like, basically mean we could probably do a triple SA, but we're going to get to where we were and compare the damage difference and just, you know, have a quick discussion about that. Bam. Look, Ryu took no damage. Bruh. They're making this team look way better than the other team was. And they kind of is, if I'm totally honest here. Okay. So rebuff Elfie's extra actions. If you're wondering why I did her extra action on this turn rather than the next turn, it's simply because it wouldn't. It's we get the extra action and we get the her attack buff on the extra action here, so it's 6 of one, half dozen the other. All right, so 2 turns left on that. Let's go. Other than that, pretty much everything's the same. Like there's not enough differences, to be honest here. All right, let's go. Let's go, and let's go. Ladies? Boom, boom. All right. So, we're going to go down to Blowing Winds. Everybody else is doing their big singles, and we're just going to, once again, build up that massive, massive SA. And let's see what the damage difference is, too, because, remember, our opponent was on 5 mil. Our opponent was on 5 mil at the end of the last run, so I don't know. I really don't know. Honestly speaking, I just don't know. All right, ladies. We are absolutely murdering him. Now, there are other material killers and stuff like that you can use here. I believe most of them are AoE, not single target, but that's not to say you couldn't use them. We'll go over and look at the material killers after this as well, but... You know, for me, this is just more fun, question mark? So actually, maybe Filvis was the better choice. Not saying we're not going to murder this event. I mean, it's over with. It's super over with. But let's see, how much health does he have left? She have left? Double the health. So Filvis actually might have been the correct choice. All right, Haruhime, what you got, girl? 120% strength of magic to everybody. Remember, we got 10 mil. 10 mil we got to drop. This will be like, yeah, 800k. Now, Elfie should do pretty well here. Let's see. 2 mil. Now, Origami's going to be basically at her peak. She'll have a little bit more damage she can get from a few other things, but she'll kind of be like the pinnacle. Oh, jeez! 7 mil. 7 million. Now, the downside is, check this out. I didn't expect that. There is some health left on our opponent. And since we're not taking damage, so actually it turned out Filvis was a better choice. I actually did not think that. I really thought Elfie was going to be the great equalizer here. But Filvis was the better choice. Now, once again, maybe if I put Elfie in slot 2 and Ryu in slot 3, there might be a slight difference there. But I don't know if it's enough. I really don't know if it's enough. So, color me shocked. I really thought that the other team build was going to be better. Or the first team build, the second team build was going to be better. But if you want to know who your material killers are, I keep saying material killers. Spirit killers! If you want to know who your spirit killers are, I keep saying material, guys. I'm so sorry. Spirit killers on the dark team, you have basically everyone from the Data Live event. So you've got Eyes, you've got the old Karumi, and you've got the new Karumi, who does physical resist and dark resist down 60%, but is AoE, and Eyes is also AoE. Though she does do magic plus 100%, so if I had Eyes a little stronger, we could run her instead of Haruhime and also wreck this event. So do bear in mind, that is a distinct possibility. But there you guys go. Like, comment, share. Let me know what you thought down below, and I will catch you all, on, I guess, the next one. Shocked. Some of those results shocked me.